What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dad by Garage. Today I'm actually going to be working on the intercooler piping for this car. I actually bought a radiator shroud or a fan shroud off of eBay that fits the Mishimoto radiator pretty well. The issue was that before I had the shroud on the radiator, the 3-inch piping that I had for the turbo side of the intercooler piping was way too big once I actually got that in there. So in hopes to remedy that, I have ordered a 2.5-inch intercooler piping kit that I'm going to be installing. Also, when you make intercooler piping yourself, a lot of people struggle with putting a bead around the edge of the piping itself so that the hose doesn't pop off when you're under pressure. So I've actually found a cheap alternative to buying one of those fancy bead rollers like you get from Eastwood or any other fabrication company that costs upwards of $150 or more, that has the 2 dies. You crank it and then it leaves a bead around the edge of it. The alternative I have found is quite a bit less expensive. It's only about $67 is what I paid for it shipped to my door. The difference being, it's not a traditional like crank die type thing or a bead roller rather. It is still a bead roller of sorts, except it is made out of vice grip. So let me grab that real quick and I will walk you through how nice this thing actually is. All right, so this is the tool that I found. It is called the Jobber Do by Baccus Enterprise. I will link it in the description. Like I said, it was quite a bit cheaper. This was $67 shipped to my door. And I mean, it's basically a pair of vice grips. It's literally a genuine pair of vice grips. It says it right on it, but somebody has taken and basically re-engineered it to work for piping, or intercooler piping rather. You probably do sheet metal, but I don't think it's going to work as well as it does for the piping. But the way they've got it, it's actually really nice quality. They welded a handle on it, put this provision in here so you can slip it into the vise, so you can actually do it all one-handed, so you can work this end of it while you've got your pipe on here. So actually, I'm going to grab a piece of pipe and actually show you how it works. I've already done the piping for the car, but I've got some scrap pieces that I cut off from the pieces that I made. But I can kind of show you how it works. So this one is a piece I cut off, like I said. It's been deburred, so I deburred the outside of the inside of it so it's nice and smooth. You're not going to cut yourself on it. But so in order to do this, it's got a nice lip here that you can butt that right up against, and it has adjustment just like any other vice grips. Now you may have to play with it a little bit to get the actual bead height you want, but as you can see, this one right here, it's a real nice bead. It's not very tall. I'm going to try to mimic that one a little bit. Again, it's not going to be the same. This one you can actually tell was rolled with a die. So this one is real nice and continuous and smooth. Granted, it's not the greatest because it is cheap like intercooler piping, but for our purpose, it'll be perfectly fine. So like I said, put it in here, you butt it right up against the lip that's there, and then you're just going to go ahead and squeeze it, rotate it a little bit, and you're just going to keep doing that until it's all the way around and you got the desired bead that you want. So, gotta tighten that a little bit. It's rocking on me. But the handle makes it super easy. You don't need a lot of leverage to do it. Plus, being aluminum, it moves out of the way pretty easily. But you can see just from that quick, just those couple ones, you can see it puts a nice ridge in there. It's same height as the die rolled one, and it's going to serve exactly the same purpose. So I actually really like this tool. The more you play with it, the better your beads are going to get. I played with it for like 5 minutes, and then anywhere you notice like little dips here, you can put that right in the center of the tool, and it'll just make your bead continuous and look almost like this. So that's what I've done with the piping that I made for the car. All I did was mimic that 3-inch piping, so I just took the piping off, compared it side by side, marked it, and cut it, and then, like I said, used the bead roller on it. So those pieces actually came out really nicely. So these are the finished pieces. So this one comes out of turbo, goes down like that, and then this one goes to a boot that actually goes like that. So I will put these in the car real quick, and then hopefully everything fits. Like I said, this is 2.5-inch pipe. It had 3-inch in there before. Hopefully that solves all of our issues, because I really don't want to take the shroud out, because I really wanted the shroud in there just for better cooling efficiency. Plus it looks really nice. It's a polished aluminum piece. I'll show you in just a little bit once I get these installed. But as far as these goes, let me install these real quick and I'll be right back. All right, so actually I wanted to show you guys actually how tight this is in here. So basically I want to go down right through this hole right here. It will compress the hose a little bit. It's gonna rub up against it, but I think I'm just gonna put some of the heat wrap like I put on the oil drain right there, so that the heat from the hose doesn't actually soak into the piping. I don't think it'll make a huge difference, but I still wanna keep that protected and keep everything around where it's supposed to be without any issues. So, but you can see radiator hose, shroud, nice aluminum fan shroud. I just need to get a little bit of the sealing foam for there. But anyways, I'm gonna throw this piping in real quick. All right, so I've got that all installed. As you can see, it's still pretty tight, but it's not, you can't really tell on camera here. But this radiator hose, if it'll focus on something other than my finger, there we go. This radiator hose goes down to there. You also have the oil drain line coming from the bottom of the turbo all the way up here and down. You can see a little foil right there. So it looks like it's pinching pretty bad, but it's actually not horrible. You can see it right there also. And also I did install a boost controller, but I didn't film that. That was stupid. But either way, so 2.5-inch pipe fits a lot better. As you can see, it's really tight. It's actually just barely resting on the fan right there, but it fits everywhere else. Everything's nice and tight. I still have to build intercooler brackets here. I think I'm going to tie them into these two holes right here. Either that or somewhere on this part of it, but so yeah, that's all in. So the very next thing I got to do is actually put the coolant bottle on. Otherwise I'm going to have this just going to a regular bottle, but I would like to still retain the, it's about a 1-inch hose down there, the one that comes out from under the intake down to the factory bottle over on this side. The issue being, I wanted to originally put it right here, but since I wanted the shroud, the bracket I got bolts to right here, and now the coolant bottle no longer fits here with that bracket, so I got to figure out a solution for that. I may go with a Mishimoto bottle and make my own mounts that mount to the actual shroud itself, because I can pick up the bottom of the level sensor hole, put a bracket in there, and then I can snug it up to that. And then also the same thing on the top. It's got a few different things that I can put a collar around, but anyways, we're moving right along. Intercooler piping is pretty much done. So, like I said, just got to make those brackets right there. But that should be it for all that. Like I said, it fits. It fits great. All right, so I felt like I started rambling a little bit there, which I try to avoid. It's not usually fun to watch anybody. But anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a solution for the bottle. And then it's basically just plugging away at the small things. The cooling system is pretty much the last thing I gotta do to actually get this thing driving. I got the drive shaft's actually right there on the floor. Swapped out the front half, put a new center support bearing on it. So that's just ready to bolt in whenever I get to that. So yeah, I think that just about wraps up what I have today. So, but stay tuned. Hopefully I'll have a video making that coolant bottle bracket, I guess, here in the next couple days or weeks, hopefully sooner than later. But I'll have a video on that, and I will do my best to try and outline that, because I know a lot of people use a lot of other aftermarket bottles that don't really look good. So the Mishimoto one will actually go in with all the aluminum parts that I'm putting in here. It'll tie in really nicely with the radiators, Mishimoto, the hoses are Mishimoto, and then, like I said, all the polished aluminum that's going to be in here. So other than that, that's all I've got for you today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and then tune in next time. We'll see you later.